friend had a stroke in January. I don't know how these things happen, but they do apparently. So that hit me really hard during these past few months, and it really made me look at life in another perspective.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Wiser Together. This is your host, Parmeet Kumar, with my brother and the co host of this podcast, Anas Pasha.
Hey guys, and today joining us is a person that I adore to my heart and is a mentor to me. One of the most amazing people I have had the pleasure to know, and Permeet knows her very well as well. Francisca Rodrigues, Bem Window. I'll give a short introduction about her. She is an influencer coordinator for a casino sports brand that is basically a performance agency. That is what she does for a living, but she is a travel concierge. We'll get to how many countries she's visited, but her Instagram page is Kicks Travel and Tips. I'm sure she'll let us know more about it as well in the detail. Overall, generally, having known Kika, she is a person full of life. Up like she has that get it attitude, which would rival the likes of Michael Jordan as well. I mean, I dare to say that, but she has that. Whatever things she set her sights on, she gets in. She goes and get it done. So, Kika, how many countries has it been now? Can you give us a number?
I
Firstly, welcome to
I
the pod,
think
brother. And yeah, go on.
yeah, I think it's around like 35, but I'm not sure. I think it's around that number. So
I think it's more.
Modest.
You're being
I don't
modest.
know. I don't know because it feels like that, but I repeat a lot of destinations because living
Yeah.
here in Europe, sometimes the 20-euro Ryanair flights are too attractive and I don't mind repeating countries, so it looks like it's more, but I think it's
Hmm.
around 35. Yeah. Still a lot to go, like a
That's
lot.
cool. I feel like,
Yeah, I forgot to add one thing. So she is basically hailing from Porto, Portugal, beautiful
Yeah.
country, and okay, so that's how it is. All right. So tell us, how is it going these days? What's up? How was your day? How was your week?
Okay, my days are the most confusing ones so far from this year. So, just to give a little context, so my best friend had a stroke in January. I don't know how these things happen, but they do apparently. So that hit me really hard during these past few months, and it really made me look at life in another perspective. And I've been struggling to figure it out what I'm supposed to do, because seeing something like this happening, you think like, what if this can happen to me as well? So I should live my
hmm.
life at the fullest while I can. So I decided, and I thought a lot, and I decided I'm gonna take few months. So I'm gonna quit my job and take a few months to travel. I don't know yet how many months and for how long this will go on, but this is pretty much what's been going on in my life right now. So yeah, so that's it.
That's amazing. It's funny how we were discussing this in the last podcast, how things like these through the experience of your own or through the experience of your friends, how they kind of bring you back to reality and sort of give you a reality check, which then enables you to focus on more on like just living more and being a more lively version of yourself. And a lot of people just say that, but you've gone ahead and really taken action on a massive, massive
Massive
level,
scale. Yeah.
like going on a backpacking trip for 4 to 5 months. Firstly,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of courage. Tell me more about this trip. Like, why traveling? Why 4 to 5 months? Why backpacking? Uh,
Yeah.
and how, how
Okay.
how how do you feel about these next 4 or 5 months?
Okay. So I did this already back when I was 18. So between high school and college, I
Hmm.
was completely lost. And my mom said, like, do you know what a gap year is? And I was like, no, what is a gap year? And so my mom, which is really weird, she introduced me to this whole world of not stopping, but investing your time in other things than studying and working. When I was 18, I took a trip like this, like Southeast Asia trip, the basic backpacking, first backpacking experience. So I took those 4 to 5 months, and back then I think it was different because I knew that when I came back, I was supposed to go to college, so I had all this figured out. I was gonna stop for a while, but I knew what I was supposed to do after. And right now I'm just feeling a little scared because I
Mm.
know I'll go. I don't know how it will go. So one of
Yeah.
my goals is to also grow my social media so I can start, um, let's say, live out of that and keep traveling. But I'm really afraid because what if it doesn't work? But I don't know. I just have to do it and see what will happen. Otherwise, I'll regret it because I think we're always postponing things, um, because it's not the right
Yeah.
time. And I'm just afraid because my friend had this, I don't know, next year or in 2 years, it could be my grandfather or my parents. You never know what will happen, and if you keep postponing it, you'll never do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And actually, something I want to hear your guys' perspective on this. I had a work friend that I told about this. He's around 40 years old, so his mindset obviously is different. And I said, I need to do this now
Mm.
because I don't have a house, I don't have a boyfriend, I don't have kids, obviously. So I need to do this now. Otherwise, I will look back and I'll regret it forever. And he was like, but is it
Yeah.
really mandatory that you do this? And I was like, what kind of a question is that? I don't know. Uh, wouldn't
Exactly.
you do what makes you happy if you could? Like, so yeah, I'm feeling really excited, but really afraid as well because here in Portugal, the mentality is like most of countries, I think, work, get yourself married, and have kids. And I'm just quitting a job that
That
gives me
sounds
a lot
like
of
Pakistan.
stability.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That sounds.
we're not that different in that way. We're not that different. So yeah, but I'm really
Yeah.
excited. You guys should join me on my trip.
Of course, that is going to happen for sure. But like Permeet said, it's so funny again because what you said about like the theme of not being able to do this later on and not having tomorrow. This is exactly what we were speaking about in the previous podcast as well when we said that we're arrogant to think that we have tomorrow. So whatever that needs to be said today. Whatever that needs to be done today. So actually, our perspective, and I think I can say for Pramit as well, is that go ahead. I mean, this is the time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, the things that you mentioned are things that yeah would like not like people do it even with kids and stuff and that, but there's levels to it. Then there's a
Yeah.
level of
Mm-hmm.
liberty to it and like freedom to it as well. And I think that's great. And first of all, we're really sorry about that friend. I've known that friend as well. I've had the pleasure of hanging out with her as well. I think she is a beautiful, beautiful human, and all of our prayers to her and her speedy recovery.
Yeah.
But from this, this is the fears that you've listed down are the fears not before going. I want to know, like, and I think so many people who must have heard this would also be thinking like, what would be like your fears during those trips, and how are you preparing to tackle those, like the things
Very
that
interesting.
yeah, the things that like would just like mentally scare you. So how I know nothing
Mm.
scares you. We've done skydiving together, so that was the most daunting task. So yeah, so I think nothing scares you, but during that trip, what are the things that you could foresee because you've already done such a thing, and how are
Mm-hmm.
you preparing for those things?
Okay, so one of my biggest fears, and I think this will sound a little shallow, but one of my biggest fears is running out of money. Money for me, I know money isn't everything in life. I know money can't buy happiness, but money for me gives me such a peace of mind knowing that I have money and that I can survive if something happens. And
Yeah.
I'm really afraid because I will start this, I will not have an income stream that I can recur to, and I'm really afraid. I remember yesterday I was just looking at prices of accommodation in Egypt, I think, just to see if I would stay in
Mm.
Airbnb or a hostel or a couch surfing, and I was looking and I saw that it was like around 50 euros per night or 20. I don't remember which one, but I
Whoa.
multiplied that for all of the nights I'll be traveling, and it was like almost half of my budget, and I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. I need to think of other ways. So in terms of this, how I am preparing for this,
Hmm.
I have okay, so you guys didn't know me at this side of me, but before I started working, I don't know how it's called, that Disney character, the Uncle Duck. Is that the name of the character?
Donald
Donald
Duck.
The
Duck.
one that saves all
Donald
the
Duck.
yeah. No, the uncle that saves all the money. I don't know his name, but wherever. It's that character that it's like counting the
Uh,
pennies and
l-
storing,
oh,
you
that's a
know,
Scrooge.
which one?
Scrooge. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I'm a little bit like that. I used to be like that. I When I did the gap year back in 2017, I was saving like crazy. I wouldn't spend money in anything because at the time I actually didn't have that money. So it was good of me to be
Hmm.
rational. But I remember I was eating a fried rice and pad thai every day, like which costed $1. I wouldn't spend any money. I used to do couch surfing, which is for those who don't know, it's staying at people's house for free in their couch or in a spare room they have for free. So I was saving up like that. And in this trip, I'm preparing in that sense. I'm searching ways of doing everything for free or almost everything. I'm searching which countries it's safe to do hitchhiking and which ones it doesn't. And that is also another fear of mine, which is this part of hitchhiking and trusting people, because it's the first time I'm doing such a big trip alone, and I'm risking a lot because I used to do hitchhiking with my ex-boyfriend, for example. Pasha knows him, Guy, um, and it
Yes.
was
Hmm.
super nice, but it was a guy, so it gives you like that
Doing alone
I
safety.
is
was I
better.
was afraid
Yeah,
at that time as well.
no, when you're two, and
Honestly, like,
especially when it's a guy, I think it's fine.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's much more easier. Like doing it alone or doing it with someone is just a different level of courage required. Like it's
yeah,
like if you when you have someone with you, you have that sense of security and comfort, right?
yeah,
But this is just another step for you. You mentioned regret. Like I wanted to point out one thing. Most regrets people have is it's not my saying. I just heard this somewhere. I'm sure you must have heard it as well, all of you. That most regrets are not from the actions you
yeah,
took, but the actions you didn't take, right?
Absolutely.
So if you generally have a outlook on life in a way that whatever happens is for a good reason, you would generally find good in everything, every downfall, every setback. And I feel like the fears that you mentioned, hitchhiking alone, running out of money, in addition to the in addition to you stepping outside of your comfort zone, that is the positions that you will really be testing yourself, and
yeah.
that will lead to the most growth. Like I don't want you to run out of money,
Exactly.
but it'd be interesting to see when and if you do, how you react to that,
Actually,
I
it
have,
would be very interesting what she. So basically, we had like an icebreaker call with Kika as well. So her, what she said to us was actually very fantastic. She said that her goal is actually to not run out of money, but to actually spend half of what she's taking, and then
yeah.
yeah,
use that for another trip. And I think that is, you say
Why
that
not?
yeah, you say that because when you were explaining your outlook of traveling and your relationship with your money, I believe that is all of us. I believe, and that is how it should be.
Yeah.
I have had the pleasure of taking trips with you, and I can
me
say
too.
that if there is anyone that you want to take a trip with, it's her, because she makes you maximize that trip, like really take the value out of that trip. She visited us in Dubai. She came, and then like every day, I've honestly, Parmeet tells me that if there's anyone like who could show UAE around, it's Pasha. But I could
Yeah.
only have achieved that because of her. Because when she came, and I had already been here for 1 year, through her and because of her, I was able to do and see so many other places. And I believe that's like your philosophy, and your relationship and your action towards money is, I believe, at least in my opinion, having experienced this with you, is the way to go.
Yeah. But you know, when I was in Dubai, it was such that's my problem because there's so much that I want to do during my trip, and I will have just to I can't do everything obviously because I'll run out of money. So my mind is like I'll take a good
Yeah.
amount of money, but I wanna keep in mind like I only have 1,000 euros or dollars or whatever. I don't have more. I need to just keep these in mind so that because if I go with the mindset that I do have a lot of money, I'll spend it. So I just need to. But actually wanted to say
Yeah.
another fear of mine, which is I think it's correlated with this from Dubai, which is we were always doing everything. We that trip was
Yeah.
crazy. It was I can say it was the best trip of my life, and I've done quite a
Oh,
few, but I think
yes.
it was really I came out of there with my
Same
heart
here.
so full. Yeah. But something that
Yes,
really
we were
scares me
crying.
as well, I was something that really scares me as well is thinking of it's around I think it's around 150 days if I'm not wrong, like 150 days which I don't have any plans for those. Like, what will I do for so long? I am so like I
Hmm.
need to because I don't want to.
Yeah.
I this will all also feels the purpose of resting a bit because I need to rest from the 9 to 5 job and just
Yeah.
do different stuff. But at the same time, I just need to keep finding ways of using my time, and that also scares me because I don't know that it's a lot of time to fill up. So I need to start planning something. So yeah,
I think it should be exciting. It's in a way as well. It's just a different perception, but just not knowing what you're gonna do and like, just I know some of us can't go without planning stuff,
an
and
Yeah.
Excel
that
sheet.
that
She's like
that
me. She's like me. She's like the offline Excel version. She's everything is here. Mashallah.
Yeah,
yeah.
but I think you're in another level. Like you plan everything to detail. I was when we took the Dubai trip and you shared with me the Excels. I was like, what is this? I don't need to do anything. He's planning out everything for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm saying
exactly.
this as a good thing. It's a good thing to. I like that.
No, no,
But
of course.
sometimes,
It honestly helps in every
Of
way.
course.
Just
But
that.
I would say, like,
yeah,
for this fear, like, this is what Prameet mentioned as well. You're now putting yourself in those things which you've never experienced before. So this is honestly like an on ground
yeah,
sort of a thing that once you go over there, only you will be able to answer, and only you will be able to like understand what you're going to do.
Yeah.
But I think you
yeah,
shared a lot of things with me as well in terms of like volunteering with the trips as well, because this is your forte, so maybe that's something that you
yeah.
can pick up from there, each country.
Yeah, I'm super excited, and I'm really. This is a trip that I wanna. It's like alone, like pray, eat, love kind of style, like just be with myself and stuff. But I'm
Yeah.
Oh
actually
yeah.
when I start
That's
telling
fits
everyone
to me.
about the when I start telling everyone about the trip, I now have 3 or 4 weeks of my trip there. People will visit me, so I'm like this
Yeah.
will take on such proportions that
Exactly.
it's gonna be amazing. I'm not gonna be that alone. I think that when you travel
Interesting.
alone, it's when you're the least alone. Everyone, you attract people when you're traveling alone, I think.
It's
So,
about your mindset,
Yeah.
honestly. It's just about your mindset. Like people feel lonely being at home.
Hmm.
It's
yeah.
it just
Even
comes
with
down
friends
to
around,
that.
yeah, even with friends around, sometimes they feel.
I love traveling alone. It's
Yeah.
yeah, I just love going on my solo trips, and it's just not like the backpacking ones. They're more spiritual related, but I just like spending that time with myself and just not having sort of that outside energy to mess around with my inside, just being alone in that way. But honestly, with your traveling, I really want to dive deeper into where this originates from, because when we spoke earlier, you mentioned things like you want to build your social media channel as well,
hmm
and you mentioned traveling being your purpose and all of that. So where do you see this going? How are you approaching this purpose of yours, and where do you see this going, and where does it originate from? Like,
Mm-hmm.
because first of all, it's to because you have that purpose and it's so strongly related to you, you can find that courage to do this. I can't find the courage to go backpacking 5 months, quite frankly, right? It's
Yeah.
quite amazing to,
No, and
like,
for
it's
the record,
inspiring to say the least.
so sorry, for the record, not only that, but to quit your job, like
Yeah,
quit
yeah,
your job
exactly.
is
It takes,
just like burning all ships.
Yeah.
yeah,
So I don't know. I feel, you know, when someone asks you like, "What's your wish?" or "What's your dream?" And I used to
yeah.
always say like, to be happy." I always say that, and a lot of people say that.
That's me as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that.
like to be happy. And in the other day, I heard, I think it was also a podcast where they say like, that can't be your dream because that's the state of I don't know, like how you feel in the moment and stuff like that. So I started
Hmm.
to deep dive in what
Yeah,
is my dream and what is like something
makes
that
you happy.
makes me happy. Yeah, and I
Hmm.
think, and I don't know if this is gonna sound like that I'm bragging. I don't know, but
No,
my
of
dream
course
is
not.
to inspire people. That's my dream. It's true because
How? Sorry, I
by
just wanna.
doing these things, like by traveling, by working hard in the way to travel, I don't know, I just feel like that's my purpose. So I started my trips in 2015, maybe no, not 2015, when I was 15. I went to Dublin in Ireland,
Hmm.
and I spent 2 weeks there, and I was like, wow, I didn't know what that was. I only had been to Spain, some countries in some cities in Spain with my parents, so I have never like explored other places
Outside.
like that.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. So I went with my friend and her mother. Her mother was a teacher, so she was doing a kind of internship there, and we were there for 2 weeks alone because her mother was working.
Hmm.
And so we were 15 years old, just hanging in Dublin. It was amazing. We were singing in the streets with a cup to get money to buy sweaters. We were doing all these crazy things. We were living like we were Irish people. Like we were friends with all the street artists because we were always in the same streets because we couldn't go that far because we were kids, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's when I started to see what the world was like, and I was like, I need to do this more often.
Yeah.
So I I'm not, so I come from a family that it's like medium in terms of economics. We don't have a lot, but we are fine. We are the normal people.
Yeah.
So my parents always educated me to, if you want stuff, you get it for yourself. We will not give it to you.
You have to earn it. Yeah.
Exactly. So when I was a kid, obviously I couldn't work. So every money I used to get in Christmas, Easter, my birthday, in all these, I would save it. And then in my 10th grade, I decided I'm going to do a trip per year. So in my 10th grade, I went to Paris with a school trip. And
Yeah.
then the next year, I went to Barcelona in a school trip as well. And then it was my last year, and that's when I decided to take on the gap year. And I feel so bad that back then the social media was not, at least I, that's what I thought at the time. It was not what it is today, because if I had my Instagram well organized and I had a good phone, I would have kicked off my
Yeah.
Instagram in
Channel.
that
Yeah.
trip. I am so I that's a thing that I regret, not have investing in a good phone
You didn't
to,
know though. You
yeah,
didn't know.
it's true.
Yeah.
And
It's a
that
different
trip,
time.
yeah, and all the mistakes I did back then, it led me to now do it properly. So I'm
Yeah.
really excited for
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
I wanna just add two things. The phone part, when she came to Dubai, so at that time I bought my first iPhone, right? That was the first
Hmm.
time I ever shifted from the iPhone. And as you may know that we have amazing reels over there on our Instagram for the trip. And I was making these amazing shots. Like even she was like, what are you doing all the time? And then in the end she knew. But then when she got back, she
Wow.
was
Yeah,
like,
I remember that reel.
yeah, then
Yeah.
she was like, I'm getting this phone, and then she got that phone. So
Yeah.
but in terms of inspiration, I want to answer this question that you asked her as well, if you allow me. I
Of course,
I
yeah.
I believe, because at the start when I said that she is a mentor to me, I meant it. Honestly, through traveling, when I went to Turkey, just before that, 1 week ago, I went to Singapore. So technically, Singapore is my first country that I visited, but I would still say Turkey. And in Turkey, like through traveling, because you can say technically I was traveling alone. I only had one friend with me, I asked, that I had from university, but then he was
Yeah.
also in a separate university. So my entire experience was alone. I was like, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. And through traveling, I met her, right? And through her, because you see, I am just a normal guy from Karachi, right? Karachi, Pakistan. We have nothing there, unfortunately. Nothing like, yeah, let's just leave it at that. But through her, I really understood the beauty of traveling. It might not, that her Dublin moment was that, like, Istanbul moment for me. And
For you, yeah.
exactly, yeah. And bro, with her, I've experienced the first snowfall of my entire life. And that was also because I asked to join in a trip with them. Ume Nome E Pasha Vento Droga Na Verwissen. That means my name is Pasha and I'm a drug dealer. We had other Portuguese
Yeah.
friends who taught me that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I experienced my first snowfall, and then I learned how to ski for the first time. I experienced diving, scuba diving with her for the first time, skydiving, my first like road trip as well. So many things, and that was only because I was inspired by her. So that, like, you have actually, I don't know how many people you'll inspire in the future, but you have already inspired one person.
Me
I
as
So
am
well.
so happy.
exactly.
Quite
And with
frankly,
this
like,
trip, I think on your entire 5 months journey, and with what you're doing, I think it's safe to say that you'll be inspiring a lot of people, especially women, like who really want to like go out and live their lives
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
with a
That.
budget as well.
with a budget. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
That
important,
is that
obviously.
is the goal. But that actually gives me, so my I think my goal is to inspire people, but that actually gives me a bit of anxiety because then I'm like, I need to, no, but it's
It's
true. It's not, and I'm not saying anxiety. I think that people use the word anxiety very lightly, but I
Okay.
mean it because last year I went to New York for the first time. I hope I'll come back there a lot of times
Yes.
because I loved it.
mm,
Um, but the trip was so big, and at the time I was so like, I'm gonna do a lot of content, and the trip was so big that I had an anxiety period of my life, and I really
mm,
think it was because of the trip. So I started. I don't know how to explain. I felt very dizzy and very confused, and it was so. And I went to New York. It was amazing, but the content was not as good as it could be because at the time I was like brain freeze in terms of that, and that's something that I'm also afraid in this trip because it's such a big trip, and there's so many content that I wanna produce and that I have in mind that I'm afraid because this is such a mind consuming situation, but
yeah.
I just need to find the right tools in order to be able to do this correctly, and I'll rely on you guys as well to
Of
help me
course.
because I think you guys.
Uh, you can always rely on us. We'll
Yeah.
do the same.
I got you.
But honestly, like at the end of the day, we're all human. Uh, Nobody's perfect. Not me, not Anas, not you. When people put so much of that inspiration in a bowl and ask you for it, like it can be perceived as they're perceiving you to be perfect, which can add a lot of pressure as well.
Yeah.
And to reach that purpose as well, you have anxiety. You want to do certain things in a certain way. It just, I'm trying to say, it all stems from thoughts,
Yeah.
either about the past or the future. There is no anxiety in present moment. I'm not, like, there is obviously chronic illnesses. I'm not getting into
Mhm.
that, but generally, speaking. So it just comes down to, it stems from you thinking about the past or the future, which is very normal.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're all humans, right? But honestly, coming back to your, I'm pretty sure you'll get through this. You'll ace it, and that's what defines you as a person. How you bounce back, not how you fall. So good luck with that. We believe in you. You'll get through it. It's
Absolutely.
it's yeah. Uh, coming back to your purpose, honestly, it shows. Like, most often when you question this, and I can see that you've reflected that and questioned yourself in that regard, and you've kind of traced it back to your sort of teenage years when you went traveling and how that made you feel, and it's that feeling that you're so inspired by, and you crave it more and more, and through that feeling you want to inspire others
Yeah.
through your content or other ways, which is beautiful. I really want to know, this is something we've discussed previously as well in the podcast, how experiencing certain things can add value to a relationship. I see you guys. You guys are the perfect, like, it's just, it's, when I see you guys, it would just be such a privilege. And I know Anas feels like this because he talks about you a lot. He mentions all of this so many times that it's such a privilege to have this kind of
I am so
friendship,
lucky.
right?
Or I swear.
And I feel like the things you guys have experienced together, because these things are like big: scuba diving, skydiving, doing the
She
trips like
came,
in
no,
Turkey,
like she
did
came,
a bunch of stuff.
yeah, she, like, right after the pandemic, she came to visit me halfway from there. It's just, we friends don't do that stuff. So
Yeah,
she's just phenomenal. So,
true one. Definitely, definitely. That's
and I would do, and
definitely.
I wanted to do the same thing for her as well. But Pakistani passport.
You will. You you will. You will.
This
We will get.
everything happens for a reason,
Yes.
and
Yes.
there
Yeah.
has to be a good reason behind that as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how we have to believe stoicism. But
Yeah. It
yeah,
was.
how much of that adds to how? See, I genuinely feel like a relationship grows and improves when you experience things together. When you experience things together, it gives you a chance to converse and share different perspectives in different ways. You
Yeah.
don't grow a relationship by, obviously, dinners and all this is fine, going for movie and stuff, but
Mhm.
that doesn't add like real value
Yeah.
to, like I mentioned last time, running a half marathon with a friend. That is unlocking something, right?
Yeah. It's true.
Stepping outside your comfort zone. So I feel like that's added a lot to the growth and closeness and the bond you both share. So
Yeah.
yeah,
One
if
hundred
you guys want to
percent.
share something about that.
Yeah. And I think there's a saying. I don't know exactly how the saying goes, but um, when you know a person when you've traveled with them, I think it's a saying like this, like, oh yeah, I
It makes
love,
sense.
yeah, like I love this friend, but then you guys travel together and it's a
Yeah,
mess. And in our case, it was the complete opposite. It was
Yes.
out of this world. And I think that those experiences, I don't know, it creates memories. And
yeah,
I mean, I had dinner with so many people in my life, and I don't remember probably half of them. And not to say
yeah,
that they were not important, but having dinner, okay, it's a casual stuff. But I don't know, we did, when you do things that, when you join a thing that it's amazing, like skydiving, and a person that you love, that makes it like your bond. I don't know. I will
yeah.
look at our skydive video always with tears in my eyes.
The
Like,
whole your whole
Yes.
life, yeah. It's just so beautiful. Like, I feel so touched as well looking at it.
yeah,
I just feel like in relationships or friendships, any kind of relationship, yeah, you get close in good times, but it's actually the hard times that really bring you close and
yeah,
help you grow in that relationship together. And being in an uncomfortable situation, traveling together, skydiving together, it creates for a lot of hard times, a lot of moments where you would question each other and stuff. And how you
yeah,
react in those hard times is what really brings you close. We have a lot of friends that we can laugh and stuff with, but how many people can you call when
yeah,
when you're crying, or you
yeah.
know what I mean?
And when bad things happen to me, I call Pasha, or at least I send him a
Exactly.
message like,
Honored.
this happened. And he has the best advices. So
Yeah,
I don't
he's
know. I just
he's
feel so lucky. And it's so,
he's
when I,
he's very wise.
No.
yeah, and when I take a second to think,
No, he is.
and when I take a second to think how the hell in the world we met, like,
I
this is so
swear.
unlikely. Yeah,
It's just meant to be, right?
I
It's
yeah,
just
swear.
when I say here in Portugal, like, oh, my best friend is Pakistani, and people are like, where did you find? I mean, we have Pakistanis in Portugal, but like, how did you find a Pakistani? And what? I don't know. It's just so different.
see,
And
it's
I'm
just that.
Yeah, you say it.
everything would have to go in exactly the order it did for you guys to have met
Yeah,
and share this beautiful relationship, and
Uh, uh,
it's
yeah.
just meant to be.
I swear, I mean, honestly, I even don't have the answer to that question except for the fact that what she says, she is actually 100%. She's actually like you as well, Permeet. Like she's just
I
like,
see that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
She's whatever there
High
is.
five.
It's you can see like 100% over there, and it was just like us, she like. Like I said over there when I went I had the intention to make friends but I didn't know if I would or not. I went to everyone with my hand, like introduce myself. A lot of them did not, a lot of them did, and she was the one who not only did, but like welcomed me with open arms. And to answer like your question about how these things evolve a relationship, honestly, this is such a beautiful question because I have done again, we've done so many things together, but one thing in the recent past when I tried scuba diving for the first time, so I couldn't swim before. I still can't. I still struggle swimming in the open sea. It's a bit scary. So when we first got into the water and I started panicking because that feeling is just you're just so vulnerable, right? And I was trying to hold on to her, and she said that do not do this because you'll put both of us in danger. And she just handled that situation very well. um for a lot of people that might be too aggressive or anything like that, but we have such a chemistry, we have such an understanding that like you said, that it's not always rainbows and butterflies. When there is a situation that requires you to be assertive and focused, she puts
Yeah,
you in that space. And through that I learned that not only she's a good friend but she's a good leader as well. That even in during times of distress, yeah, it is true because here's a guy who's like 90 kgs who can't swim and he's trying to hold on
yeah.
to you, and that is potentially dangerous as well. So
I
she
was
like,
actually,
yeah, she
I was
put me in
actually
the
gonna,
right direction. Yeah, because I was
I was gonna
panicking.
mention that, I was gonna mention that situation, but then I was like, would he mind me
No,
telling that he was
no.
struggling in the open
Of
sea?
course, I was struggling a lot, and no, this is what I'm saying, Pramit. Like because of her, me and my other friends, we went to Turkey again, and
Yeah.
we tried scuba over there as well. And I was the one now instructing them, passing on the same thing that she had given me, so that helped them as well. And that was only because of these experiences, and that like you see, like because of the this relationship that we share of this experiential, I was able to pass it on into my other experiences as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was truly amazing. I wanna say one thing as well. Parmeet and I, this applies to us as well. Parmeet, when I came to Dubai, I was relatively new. So you took me out to the karting. We also went with Kika as well, and then you
Yeah.
also took me to that VR as well. So I believe like we when we did that, because we've already done that teamwork sort of a thing. So why did you specifically choose that VR? Like, what did you have in mind at that time?
Honestly, it wasn't anything
Yeah.
uh, uh, profound. I don't want to make it like that. Just being blunt as I am, I just wanted to you know uh, experience it and with you. But I feel like when we really connected was when we haven't faced that kind of like hard time
Mm,
together, but we on a daily basis we go through a lot of challenges, right? Small or big. It's just because we work together, it requires challenges, it requires overcoming them, it requires being blunt with each other. And not just now, before as well, we me and Anas work on a different venture. So that really tests you, how you think of the other person, how this sort of bonding is going. And that really, like, doing something together as well, this while we're
mm.
together is a big project for me and for you as well, right? So like creating this baby together, it just means
Wow.
something. I've never said
Explicit.
this before,
Oh.
but if Pasha was a girl, I would definitely
Oh my
consider
god.
marrying her. Because like I think we're so, like, what I look for in a partner, I
Yeah.
see that in Pasha.
Oh my god, you guys are just.
I know
I
what
will
you
But
mean.
cry.
unfortunately, his gender doesn't suit me.
I have a beard. Look at
I know
this.
what you mean. But look, I that's something that I say a lot of times. Like people are like, "Oh, you and Pasha, you guys are gonna end up together," and I'm like,
And Pasha's
I
heard the same thing as
I
well.
Yes.
say like I wish I because
Oh
I
my
think
God.
I love Pasha and I would love to get married with him. But do you know when there's like this level of
He's
love?
blushing.
I'm
But you know
blushing.
this
Yeah.
level of love where you're supposed to be friends and to be there for one for
Yeah.
to another, like not in that romantic way, but like in a such strong love. Like I don't know how to explain, and that's what I try to explain to people. But apparently in Portugal, at least, you can't have guy friends because if you have a guy friend, it means that something will
Yeah.
It's
happen.
honestly the yeah, it's only the same in Pakistan as well.
Yeah,
People would, no matter how much you try and explain it to them, they will form their own judgments because
yeah,
and assumptions because that is all they know.
yeah,
I
You know
wanna
what I
I
mean?
wanna
That is
touch
how
on
they will deal with it.
I wanna touch on
Yeah.
one thing because this is the when we initially became friends. This is a conversation that Kika and I had as well, because she often used to say to me like it's really hard to imagine like a platonic friendship between like a guy and a like
Yeah.
a female,
yeah,
right?
It is hard.
Yeah, and then I used to tell her that wait, that is just so common in Pakistan as well. Pakistan is you have that. I'm not sure about the culture or anything etc. about that, but what I just explained it to her is that. Um, that this is a thing and we're gonna like prove to the world that this is how it's
yeah,
gonna happen, you know. Even during
yeah,
the Dubai trip there it was just so much of that thing that we used to get, but you know what, like this is just we let it what it is, and we just thrive
yeah,
and continue to do what we do. So it's just
Yeah.
something so rare, so precious, and so unique for us.
yeah.
And honestly
Just in
I would
another
marry you guys as well,
uh,
without a doubt.
in another in another note, do you know that when you're in the shower and you're just thinking of random scenarios in your life and coming up with random speeches? I have
Yeah.
trained so many times that the speech I'll give in Pasha's wedding. Like I
Oh,
Uh,
know already. I've think so many times like what I'll say,
uh,
and I don't know.
no,
I'm just
that's
so
you
glad,
honor me.
just
No,
glad,
same
yeah.
here. You honor me.
No, it
Honestly,
just
it's you guys are same here.
no,
Honestly,
guys.
same.
Your the friendship you guys have, it's just
yeah.
man, yeah.
And
It's like it
it's
doesn't get better than this. It
yeah.
doesn't get and
But
it
the thing where people say like, oh, guys can't be friends. It's actually so a girl and a boy can be friends. It's actually hard because
Yes.
even
is hard.
though
Yeah.
we have this, I know it's hard because there's a lot of times, at least in my case, that I've been with guys that I was like I want to be your friend, and then there's something always that ruins that, and
No, but it
some
turns. It
move.
always. Yeah.
It's hard. I understand what people are coming from, but
Obviously.
in this case,
Yeah.
it's an exception. Yeah, I don't know.
I agree.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just the look. It's definitely like people say because this is what their experiences have been, and I guess we're just wise and we're just smart about it because what we already have, I is something that we believe is just so special and just so wonderful that anything to sabotage that, anything to like harm that is would can end up in losing something that we have, and this is what Parmeet and I were discussing in the previous podcast as well, like in terms of gratitude. Like people always want something more. People always want to take it to the
Yeah,
next level. I believe for us, this is how it goes in terms of relationship and in terms of experiences and memories. That is just limitless and endless, and we can go anywhere.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
yeah.
it's just
But
honestly,
We
yeah,
have a
it's
long
just
way.
yes, it's just a truly blessing. Like I'm not that good at explaining these things, but honestly, this
we can see it on your face,
yeah,
bro.
it's
It's
just
like so obvious. It's so obvious. The things you do that generally like you're so thoughtful. Like I remember
no, come
we
on,
weren't this close at
no.
the time, but you had come back from Turkey
Yeah.
and it was Kika's birthday and you learned to sing happy birthday in Portuguese while playing the guitar, and our common mutual friend Trevor was teaching you how to do that.
Yes,
I was there as well,
yes.
and I was like, man, this guy is so thoughtful. Like it's beautiful to see that. About platonic friendships, people don't realize that
Hmm.
you can get so much more value out of you being friends than anything. It's just, I say it all the time, pleasure seeking mind. We always just seek pleasure, be it sexual or any kind of
Yeah,
pleasure, but it's I don't know. It's just so sad to see that people fall victim to to those things.
Absolutely, yeah, those desires. Um, uh, yeah, I mean, this is just truly wonderful. But Pramit, you've also I do understand that you went to like trips, like you go to your solo trips, but you've
Yeah.
also been to one of a trip with one of our mutual friends as well to Azerbaijan. So I've never really talked about it. I wanna understand that how it went. You sharing like that entire trip with another person.
Yeah, honestly, like I said, it's things like that that bring you close, even though there may be a lot of disagreements and you don't see eye to eye with a lot of things. Uh, there is a lot that I wanna share with this guy. It's just I love him from the bottom of my heart, but there's just it's like you have a relationship you would share with your child, no matter how naughty or spoiled he is, you love them anyway.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
Yes.
that friend is, I'm not saying he's my child or anything. It's just to give you an example. Don't take this in the wrong way. But yeah,
But I know
um,
that you. But yeah, this is what I'm saying. I know you guys don't see eye to eye on things, and so how did that trip go? Like in terms of itinerary, in terms of deciding places to visit, see, like because you guys are totally on a different end of the spectrum.
we both had a different idea of a trip. We both wanted to do different things, but it just so happened to be that we were able to find a way to satisfy
But
both our ideas
for
and
how
things
long
that
was
we
this
wanted to
trip?
do.
For how long was it?
Like 5 days, not 5 months, 5 days.
5 days.
Not it wasn't long.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's a good time. It's a
Anas is
good amount
trying.
of
I think
days
he's
to
trying to
spend.
get some answer out of me.
I'm
But
actually, I want because we're speaking about trips, and I always wanted to understand how did you guys manage meeting in the like getting an equilibrium, meeting in the middle. This is what I wanted to
yeah,
understand.
no, you know how it is. It's at the end of the day, like we're both compromising, and it's a lot of banter with him. But at the end of the day, like he and he knows this well. He's someone that
Hmm.
it's 90% banter, but I've spent that time with him, and we've shared those times. And he, we three have spent a lot of time together as well. How he went through a lot of hard times, and we shared that time together. So I wouldn't call a friend a close friend per se if I didn't go through a hard time with them, or if I can't share
Hmm.
those hard times with them. Otherwise you're just an acquaintance, and there's yeah.
No, that
Yeah,
is
you're
true.
right.
Thank you for sharing that.
And and I
But we
think
love him.
I think
I know he's gonna be waiting for the
I think when we grow up, like we can see like we have so many friends when we're kids, and then we just grow up and we have a handful or not even that. It's just so interesting to see how every year maybe we learn different aspects that we use as a filter to consider people friends. I don't know. I think it's just because I think that every
yeah.
year there's like these friends that I just don't um I don't know. I just can't relate as I used to, and the values are not
Oh my God.
um yeah. And I
I'll
actually have
tell
a
you what
friend.
it is. It just comes from
I actually have a friend that said to me, "It's
yeah. Go on, go on.
everything. Everything is okay with that. We don't need to be friends like all the time, and throughout our lives we can have some breaks when we are not um, I don't know, matching with each other, and it's okay to do that, and it's actually okay, and that's the mindset I'm trying to follow now. It's like,
That's real friendship.
yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah, I have a friend as well, like who I've known for 10, 12 years now, and it's we speak like once in 6 months, but whenever we speak, it's just like Anas knows this person as well. It's just back to how we
Hmm.
started, and it's just updating each other. But at the end of the day, you really really know if they have good interests at heart for you, and if they're gonna be there for you when you truly need them. So I think it's perfectly fine to
Yeah.
have those kinds. Most of my friendships are actually like that. Me and Anas as well. Like if we weren't working, like we're really really close and we love each other, but when we weren't working we'd probably speak like maybe once a month, or
Yes.
update each other here and there, and which is perfectly fine. There should be no expectation of, we're not teenagers, saying hi hello every day,
Yeah,
talking to each other every day. Absolutely not. Like, I want you to do the best you're doing in your life, and I know you want me to do the same, and which is what I'm doing. And if we ever need each other, we'll we'll be there for each other. But it's just, yeah.
yeah, I agree. And these are the friendships that I think that we will take on super old. I actually wonder how we will be as old people and friends, like
Yeah.
two Pakistani boys, a Portuguese girl, like really old. Just I don't. I wonder how that's gonna be. I don't know. It's
It's
curious.
gonna be. I mean, we'll be still falling from the sky and doing crazy stuff.
It's
I,
just, if
yeah, I
anything,
wanna keep
this
on doing things.
We're
friendship
gonna put,
should be an inspiration for people.
yeah,
Yeah.
Just having this sort of relationship, it should be an inspiration. It definitely is for me, and I'm sure if people get to see
Yeah,
this,
honestly, that's what I'm saying with both of you guys. I mean, you keep on. Parmeet is just doing amazing things as well with his boxing, with his running, and with his other stuff. And you are all obviously doing some phenomenal stuff with taking such a big decision and traveling the world, like literally. So, as long as you guys are keeping me inspired, I think we'll be good. I'll follow your footsteps as much as I can. And I think I'll be
yeah,
inspired throughout the way, and that'll keep me young and that'll keep the fire going.
yeah.
yeah.
So, thank you guys.
I'll
Thank
I'll
you.
I'll just close off with one thing. I've really really uh, dived deep into this and journaled on this, and I think the one quality or characteristic that truly uh, determines that if you can stay friends is having two-sided admiration.
Yeah,
So maybe some thought for mind, think on that. But true friendship from both sides, it comes from admiration, and I think I see a lot of that in me, in you, in Kika,
yeah.
in for
Absolutely,
each
yeah.
other and for ourselves, and that is what will carry on this friendship
That is
Absolutely.
true. That is true because
for a lot
I
more.
haven't taken also the time to say this, I think, throughout this podcast, but Pasha, you do inspire me a lot.
Oh, are
Um,
you?
I know because okay, I do bold things and I inspire you to be bold or whatever, but you inspire me to be like such a good person. When I came back from my Erasmus, I was telling
Oh,
to my family, like, I've never met such a good person. And I love it the way that for example, sometimes I'm just off and sometimes I don't reply to Pasha and he tells me that he feels a little bit sad about it. And I immediately get on the defensive side and like try to justify myself and I feel bad. But then I take a second and I think it's Pasha saying this to me. He's not mad. He just wants me to carry on maintaining
absolutely.
our relationship. So there's a lot
Yeah,
of things that I learned from him. Just he inspires me. I think that more important than inspiring people to be bold, which is what I try to do, it's inspiring people to be kind, and that's what you do. And I think that's
100%,
way
100%.
more like admirable.
Hum-
So
Humble and kind. Yeah,
yeah,
It goes both ways. Come on, you guys both are just like doing the same thing. Honestly, like it's
yeah,
and that is why it happens. Okay. I'll just share one thing that I do, which is mirroring. It's a concept that I learned, and for some people, it might sound a little like petty or a little like Machiavellian, like a little evil sort of a thing, but honestly it's just mirroring. I only project what I get. So if the things that you said about me is because you do the same things about me as well, it's just like I'm doing the same thing that you do to me as well, these things I've learned from you
that's
as well.
beautiful to
So
say.
both of you,
okay.
I've learned from these. Okay. What is that? Okay. It
I'm
is
like
true.
I because I remember this episode. I don't know why it's really touched my heart, but I remember in Turkey there was a time that I was telling you like I am, and we were not friends for that long yet. But I was telling him, "Oh, I feel so hangover because I went out last night." And a few hours later, or I don't know, he just knocks in my door and he brings me like a bunch of fruits, and he's like, fruits help in the recovery of hangovers. And I was like,
That's
Hangover,
yeah,
yes.
typical
It is.
typical
I was like, what is this? What are you doing? I
yeah.
remember there was another time when I lost
Yes.
my purse in the other side of Istanbul. And for people that don't know, Istanbul is ginormous.
Huge.
And
Yeah.
a few hours later, I was planning on going there to get my purse. And then Pasha just arrived at my place with a purse. And I was like, why?
Because you would do the same thing. You would do the same thing. That's why. And you did. Yes, you did. I no. The thing is, I brought a purse. You brought yourself to Dubai, so that is literally it. Yeah. So
Okay,
exactly,
okay.
and with Parmeet as well, like he understand, he gets me, and he does the most amazing things as well. Like when I was about to leave for Dubai, he with my other friends as well organized this amazing farewell. So that these things are only because you guys do as well. So you guys get the best.
That I learned from you, honestly.
No, no,
Like,
you guys get the best, and I hope
see,
people.
we all have
Yeah,
our
I just want to
friends,
say
and
one thing. Sorry, the people
yeah,
listening to this, like I hope you guys don't take this in like a like a, I don't know the right word, but anyway,
sucking up to
yeah,
each other.
sucking up session. But this is what, yeah, but this is what it is about. Like these are the values that we're trying to project, so that you can have these friendships, so that you can know these people,
Yeah,
and you can travel, and then you can
Yes.
run those marathons with your friends, and you can bring fruits to your friends. It's just, this is what life is, and this is what we all three are about. So that's all that
yeah.
I just wanted to
I
add.
would
So
just say, find a friend who you can admire and who admires you, because that will last a lifetime.
yes,
And
sir.
keep finding a way to do that. But honestly, this was very, very,
Very, very
very.
amazing. Yeah.
I
Oh, it
agree.
touched my heart for sure. And it's honestly so good to see you guys. It just inspires me so I keep saying this word again and again. I find inspiration and everything, but the love you guys share for each other, and it's a privilege for me that, like, I'm so blessed and grateful that Pasha introduced me to you.
Yes,
That's what we do. Pasha and me do this. We share our
our friends. Yeah.
things, but that's how it should be.
Yes,
That's, that's
I'm
how it
really
should be. But
happy.
thank you so, 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 so much,
Yeah. Thank
Kika,
you,
for
guys.
joining us.
Thank you, guys. This
Uh,
was amazing. I was super nervous, and it was
we're
just,
gonna do this again
Yes, yes, yeah.
from wherever you are in the world. You're going to like some 10, 15 countries.
yeah,
But please tell them where they can find you on Instagram. I'm gonna add the link as well.
yeah.
I'm gonna, yeah.
It's Kix Rodrigues, which is KIKSRODRIGUES.
Yes.
It's such a long name, but yes,
That's okay. Because I'm gonna tag you, so it should be
yeah.
fine. And guys, go follow her. She's her, yeah,
I'm trying, guys.
her beauty within. Even though you're so beautiful, your beauty within
Oh,
radiates more and comes out. No, it's genuinely.
yes,
There's only a
Thank you,
few people you can say that about,
absolutely.
and you're definitely one of them. It's your beauty within is definitely
guys.
outshines your beauty outside. I'm not, but it's only certain people. Beauty
Yeah.
is in the eyes of the beholder, as they say.
Thank you, guys.
So
This
yeah,
will really kick off my Sunday. So it's 10:44 here in Portugal, and I'm like, my day is gonna be.
that's the goal. Let's go. Yeah, we
Thank you
inspiring
so
each other.
much, guys.
But
No, thank you for
again,
coming. Thank you for giving us the time.
yeah.
No.
So, and thank you to everyone for sticking out till the end, watching this, being a part of this. We truly, truly, truly appreciate this. And if you could just support us in any way, engage with us, that would be much appreciated. And it just adds to the purpose and the cause of getting this conversation going in this direction. So, yeah, in whatever capacity you can, we really appreciate it. And we have a good one. We will see you next week, every
Yes,
Sunday, as it is. I'm so excited. I don't know. This energy is getting to me.
definitely.
But yeah, again, thank you for. We have to cut it here, unfortunately, though. But next time, it'll be obviously you'll be coming here often. So
Yes,
yeah, thanks
please.
again, everyone, for joining, and we will see you in the next one.